Box. It's time for our podcast.
It's Friday then. It's Saturday, Sunday. What?
You're listening to the Pitwall Girls podcast, hosted by Darlene and Adriana.
Hello and welcome back to a new season of Pitwall Girls. I'm Darlene, your host, and today I'm joined by a friend of the pod, Jed.
Hi. Glad to
How
be
are
back.
you?
Good. How are you?
This is actually your second episode back to back.
Yeah. Yes, there's been some time between, but yes, Happy New Year.
Well, today I'm so excited to record this because I feel like we're just going to be talking. I don't know if I can even curse in my own podcast, but so much has happened. If you think that you can turn off your TV after the last race and turn it on for the 2024 race, you are mistaken. You will be very confused. There are new team principals. There are very different liveries, and there's just different team names, new teams. So let's get you up to speed with everything that has happened. So it's been a busy season. There was an investigation with Toto and Susie Wolff. Thankfully, that all resolved on its own. But that was a big...
That was quite a stir for a few weeks.
Yeah, so the Wolffs were under investigation for conflict of interest. And for those who don't know, Toto Wolff is the team principal of Mercedes, and Susie is the director for Formula One Academy. But yeah, glad that everything went well because I wouldn't want to lose them.
Yeah, no, that would have been, I mean, honestly, like, what could they have done? Like, what was there to do wrong? Like, there was nothing there. They're just
married.
smoke.
Everyone knows they're married.
Yeah, like if there was a conflict of interest, that would have been something to address at the beginning of everything when they brought her on to F1 Academy, all of that. So, like, that's just smoke in the air.
Yeah. Well, something that didn't end as positively as Toto and Susie keeping their positions was Guenther Steiner is no longer the team principal of Haas. He's no longer in Formula One.
Biggest shock, literally, of this year.
Shocking.
Well, one of the biggest shocks.
Drive to Survive is still scrambling because he is their main man. Such a character. I'm gonna miss him. The paddock is gonna miss him. Yeah. So he was replaced by one of the engineers. We might forget, but he's not the owner of Haas. Gene Haas owns the team and really has the final say. And Haas has been last. There is a lot of money put into the team, and the owner just felt like, there was more to do, and probably Guenther wasn't stepping up. So we will see what happens with the team. He's not expecting to be winning, but he also doesn't want to be dead last. So we'll see. We don't know what Guenther's up to, but I'm sure he will be coming up with his own podcast.
That would be something I'd want to listen to for sure.
Okay. Next, jumping into other news, Madrid is set to have a track in 2026. I'm super excited about this.
It's so amazing. So fun.
A race in Madrid, which could potentially mean that we're losing the Barcelona track. It hasn't been confirmed 100% that we'll lose Barcelona, but likely because they're not going to have two races in Spain. So when that news broke, I was reading the comments under F1's official Madrid 2026. And some of the F1 community is so resistant to change and just addition.
Yeah.
The comments were, I was excited. I was like, yay, new race, new track, whatever, all this stuff. All the comments were so negative. Like, this is an awful track. When are they going to learn? Like, we don't need another, like so negative, very similar to how it was for F1 Vegas. And I mean, we went. And we had the time of our lives, and it was a great race. So I don't know why they're so negative. Like, why?
I wonder why that is. I mean, I don't know if
tradition is being broken or anything. If anything, we're making traditions.
Right. I mean, I don't know if like potentially it does impact Barcelona. Like maybe there's only one race in Spain, but guys, Spain needs the business, so let them have this.
Well, it's going to happen for sure. Like, it is said to happen. It just has that little, like, you know, the race has to pass the inspection, but I'm sure it will. And it's said to be kind of like a street track.
Which would be so fun. We don't have enough of those.
We are out there eating jamon with Carlos.
Jamon ibérico with Carlos.
Yes. Okay. And more Grand Prix news. Japan has been extended until 2029. Exciting. That's always a pretty good race. Time difference is awful, but we make it work.
We'll have to just plan a trip out there.
And then Formula One has trademark registrations alluding to Chicago Grand Prix. So fourth race in America, in Chicago.
I mean, better than New York because it's more accessible. Well, just like terms of how to create the track, it's a more accessible city.
I mean, it would be a disaster to create a track in New York, but
could you imagine?
It would be iconic.
And it's also great for like the Midwest. There's tons of driver fans in the Midwest, NASCAR, Indy, and that'd just be like another thing to tack on, which would be cool.
Good point.
I love it. I love the idea. Love Chicago, great city.
Good foodie city. So
good
wouldn't
foodie
be
city.
Opposed to it.
As long as in the summer, I would imagine so.
Well, that's tricky because F1 has their summer break, so they're gonna have to work around that. And then, was there any other track news? Why do I feel like we're missing one track?
Singapore, I remember. We talked about.
So, as of like a few days ago, it was announced that Singapore's contract to keep the race might be audited because whoever signed that was arrested. I honestly don't know too much about what's happening, but someone who was an F1 fan wanted to keep the track there, was arrested. Whoever is now in his position, not a fan of the race, we'll see. Hopefully that race isn't taken away because it's a great race. I thought it was the best race.
It's one of the best races, 100%.
Yeah. Such a fun street track. I made a TikTok about this, but 2024 is set to be the silliest silly season to ever exist. And as of maybe 2-3 weeks ago, Charles Leclerc did extend his contract with Ferrari. So that is minimizing the silly season because Charles is a hot player and he drives for Ferrari. So, you know, everybody wants to see. A lot of people might want Charles. So that's locked in. Charles has his multi-year contract. We don't know how long it's for. We don't know if it's 2 years. In an Italian press, it was said that it was until 2029. I don't think that's the case. It might be something like a 2-year contract.
Yeah.
And then I just thought this was all hilarious because in a Drive to Survive episode, Charles is asking Carlos to text Lando to ask Lando how long his multi-year contract is for. And Charles was like, it's so strange to have this announced here. Well, Lando Norris, another hot driver with a good seat at McLaren, also extended his contract until at least 2026. So that at least is, you know, if he's doing well, if the team's doing well, it could go beyond that. So who knows the details of the contract. But I just thought it was hilarious because it was announced the same week as Charles. Lando and Oscar locked into McLaren into 2026. Alpine drivers, their contracts are ending 2024. Max is locked in till like 2028.
So forever.
But Carlos was not locked into his Ferrari seat. And if you are tuning in to F1 News and you're seeing that Lewis is going to Ferrari, it is not a rumor, it is confirmed.
It is the truth. If you do not live under a rock, that is the truth.
I say that, I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm saying that. Lewis Hamilton will be a Ferrari driver in 2025. So he was set to be with Mercedes until the end of 2026.
Right.
But he used his release clause. There was a release clause in his contract.
Right.
It was activated, and he is now going to be driving alongside Charles. So I've been asking,
duo.
Super interesting duo. I do think that they get along. they're both very mellow, so it'll be interesting to
But
see.
they're also both extremely competitive.
They're super competitive, but they're both gentlemen, so there's not going to be.
Yeah.
I mean, we've heard Lewis get a little sassy on the radio, but I feel like it might be more passive aggressive. I don't know. I feel like they're going to have other people fight their battles.
I can see that, but that's not always great for like their relationship and like on the track, you know?
Yeah, no, tensions are going to start building. So I asked a couple of people and I got kind of mixed answers back. Do you think Charles knew that Lewis was going to be his teammate when he resigned his contract?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
I don't think so.
I think that Charles might have been told there's a potential that Lewis will be your teammate in 2026. And Charles was like, fine, I have 2025 and 2026 to become World Drivers Champion because, that is his goal. But I do think he might have been a little shocked to see that Lewis was joining the team a whole year earlier in 2025.
100%.
Yeah. So 2 big questions. Who will take the Mercedes seat? And where is Carlos going?
Where's Carlos going?
Where is Carlos going? So we speculated that Carlos will be going to Audi in 2026. Audi is an incoming team that will replace or take over Kick, F1, Stake, Sauber Group. But that's in 2026. What's going to happen to him in 2025?
It would be a shame if he were to be a reserve driver.
I think he might be a reserve driver. I was thinking, does he want to? There is going to be a lot of seats open. He can go back to Alpine. He can even go to like the Kickstake one team
to keep driving at least.
There will be an open Red Bull seat in 2025.
True.
Will he go back to Red Bull? He used to drive for Toro Rosso. He's been Max's teammate. Does he want to go back there? I don't know.
If he goes back there, I mean, he doesn't have much of a shot to win any sort of championship.
Yeah. Well, I used to think that Lando was going to go to Red Bull or Ferrari and there would be an open McLaren seat and Carlos would go back to McLaren, but that's not the case. But here's the thing. I also do think that if Lando would have left McLaren, there was talks of him going to Red Bull and Ferrari. He had those seats if he wanted them. Supposedly he had a Ferrari contract and, Red Bull wanted him. I think if he was going to go anywhere, it was going to be Mercedes just because he is British. Too. It makes sense with the factory being over there. And is he regretful that there could have been a seat for him in Mercedes alongside George, which I think he thinks he could totally
take over.
Sure. That would have been so fun to see. So I'm just wondering if he now thinks he signed a little bit early. I mean, I'm super happy to have him at McLaren because he's my favorite driver with my favorite team, just makes life easier. But I think that might be in the back of his mind.
Yeah, I mean, it also just gives him a little bit more runway to become an even better driver with McLaren. And then reach one of those teams eventually, whether that's in the next 2 years or not. But yeah, I definitely think probably a good choice that he's stay for his.
Well, I am manifesting him having his maiden win at Bahrain, the first race. So we'll see. Okay, what is next? Yeah, so lots of talks with Carlos because Carlos, also his performance coach, Rupert, which they were together for 7 years, basically brothers. Rupert is going to be Max Verstappen's performance coach. I see Charles and Lewis working out better than I see Max and Rupert. Have you heard how Max talks to his engineer? He can't talk to Rupert like that. He's an angel. God. He's so sweet.
He is so adorable. I mean, I just want to know, I want to be a fly on the wall when that conversation happened.
How did that come about?
Hey, I'm going to work with Max. Or did he get fired?
No, I don't think he got fired. Maybe they could have outgrown each other. We never really found out what happened with Daniel Ricciardo and his performance coach, who's now Ethan's performance coach, because maybe the lines get blurred between performance coach and friend, and they're together so much. So who knows? Maybe it is beneficial for all parties involved. But I just can't see Max.
It's a compliment to like B Max's performance coach too.
Yeah.
Who knows?
So we'll
for
see.
Carlos, who's he gonna have? What is he gonna do?
Carlos is gonna have a team. He's gonna have a performance coach. If he cheated on Isha, he's getting his karma. I had to say it. But I still love him. But I'm just pointing out that it seems like he's getting a little bit of bad karma right now.
Oh no! Oh no!
But he just always gets better and better. Do I see him at Mercedes? No. Do I see him at Red Bull? Maybe.
Mercedes is giving villain era.
They're plotting to do something big, like, and I think they are just gonna end up signing Fernando, which is not what I would want. But they just want something, like, they just want to do something that's going to be all over the headlines. Who knows?
What if they just take on Carlos?
Carlos in black, I don't see it. Oh, maybe their race suits aren't even black. But
maybe they won't be black.
White. Oh, I
Carlos
don't know.
in white with his tan skin.
Carlos and George. Carlos and George.
That could be an interesting little swap there.
We'll
Carlos
see.
is a great driver. He's not a bad driver. He's really good. He's
the only other driver to beat Red Bull in 2023. He's amazing.
Yeah, he really is. So he should be afforded the opportunity to be on a really good team.
Yeah. I'm sad that he won't be with Ferrari, or just that he won't have a team, but I'm so excited to see him this season because he's going full Latino mode. He's not going to listen to team orders. Why does he care to listen to team orders? He is going to make his own strategy. So I just actually think we're going to get like chef's kiss racing from Carlos.
I think so too. He's going to just
I want to hear Charles on the radio saying, let me pass him, and Carlos saying, like, don't talk to me right now. Like, I'm excited for that. He is in his villain Latino mode era.
For sure.
Okay,
that's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah. And why Lewis went to Ferrari, I mean, it might have a little something to do with him getting paid $100 million a year.
And I mean, it could also be kind of his last move before he decides to peace out
of the sport. Doesn't seem like he's going anywhere anytime soon.
Who knows?
Maybe if he gets his 8th.
But it is his childhood dream.
Break records. Okay. Then I do think that Ferrari is building a super team. Fred is poaching Red Bull engineers. He might now be poaching some Mercedes employee as well, as some will roll over with Lewis.
Yeah.
Okay, so people listen up. This is where you need to really tune back into the episode. V-carb. V-carb stands for Visa, Cash App, and honestly, Racing Bulls. I don't even know what the RB stands for because they didn't want to say.
No?
Wow, I don't know. Yeah.
Either way, the Visa Cash App part, that's just so weird and like shystery. It's so weird.
I think we're actually gonna learn to love it. But I mean, they used to be called AlphaTauri, and it kind of just rolls off the tongue. But also it's a clothing brand.
I mean, Visa Cash App. I guess.
I would have preferred like Boss Racing, because Hugo Boss was supposed to be one of the title sponsors, but I'm guessing the bank won, it's always Caster's King. So the bank did win in this scenario. They haven't released their car yet, so we don't know what their branding looks like. We know it might be blue, but we haven't seen the car. We haven't seen the race suits. They're actually launching their car tomorrow in Vegas. Super Bowl weekend. Yeah, okay.
Super Bowl weekend.
By the time you hear this episode, you'll likely know what the car looks like.
So my question is, isn't the Cash App like the green logo?
Yes.
That'll be so interesting to see.
Well, I think that they have great marketing avenues with Daniel Ricciardo, obviously. Can you just imagine him in a commercial and he's smiling while making like a Visa Cash App
like a little
transaction? Just paid you.
He'd be so good at it. Oh my god, he's paying for like Enchante, like apparel.
Yes, he's paying for his merch with a Visa or like Cash App.
Wait,
yeah,
I kind of love that.
They hit the jackpot there.
Marketers take points.
Gosh, guys, there's so much news. So I'm not going to dive into the nitty gritty of this. I just want to get you up to speed. If there's something you really want to know about, I'll make an episode about that. But Mario Andretti was supposed to bring in an 11th team into Formula One with Cadillac, and part of his bid got accepted, but F1 finally said, no, we can't take you as an 11th team for 2025 or 2026. And this man was building the F1 car. He started to work on that. I was bummed about it. I don't know why I was so excited. I think that Mario Andretti is somebody who's so passionate about racing. So I think it would have been something that the sport needs just to bring back some of those racing roots. And also it would have been an American team. I mean, there's talks about having a 4th race in America. So just kind of bummed that didn't go through.
Yeah. And I mean, I think they had said that they didn't feel like an 11th team would bring value to the championship, which is kind of like an interesting thing to say.
Yeah. Like, why did you
and
even
for
let
what reason?
go through this whole process if you couldn't add an 11th team?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. So it's just crazy because the team split the money. The prize money is getting split between 10 teams. And those are the 10 teams that essentially said no to bringing an 11th team in because they'll get less money. So it kind of seems like a greedy thing, even though that bringing in an 11th team brings in more money from US fans, American fans, right? Crazy. So we'll see where that goes, but I don't fully understand it, why they let him go through with the bid if they can't support an 11th team.
Right. I mean, it just seemed kind of like a weird last minute, like, actually, we don't really want you. Never mind.
Yeah. He tweeted like he was devastated. It was, I don't know him that well,
it would be.
It made my heart hurt. Yeah.
Like he was excited and he started this whole process. I mean, who wouldn't be?
Yeah. So quick little recap so far. So Alfa Romeo is now pick one steak Sauber team, and they released their car. I might have said that incorrectly. They released their car and it is black with like neon green. It reminds me of the mask. I don't love it. I just don't like the color green, but I like that the car looks different from all the other cars. It's not black, white, and red, you know? So we'll see. Currently, you know, we might have to update this episode because as of very recent, Steak might not be their title sponsor anymore because they don't have some sort of license in Switzerland where Sauber is from. So, you know, they might have wanted to check that out before. So I don't know if the car will even stay green because I think Steak is what is green. So just stay tuned. Second, AlphaTauri is now Visa Cash App Racing Bull. And in this quick little intermission, I went on Instagram and they released a part of the car and it says Visa in white, like bubbly letters, very glossy. Cute. Yeah, I kind of am into it.
Let's see.
And Guenther is no longer the team principal of Haas. Okay.
And Lewis is with Ferrari as of 2025.
And Lewis will be in Ferrari for 2025. Da-da-da. As of this week, Christian Horner, the team principal of Red Bull, is under investigation. An internal investigation by Red Bull for an alleged
inappropriate misconduct.
Yes. I've seen some this. I don't want to speculate on this because it's very serious. This isn't a rumor like Lewis is going to Ferrari. No, this is very serious. Someone did not feel good by the actions of somebody else.
Right.
Christian Horner fully denied the claims, but there were some other, I guess these are the rumors, that Red Bull asked him to step down. This Friday, so February 9th, is when the hearing will be. So I guess we will find out then. But I know Red Bull wants to investigate and come to a conclusion on this matter before they even release their livery next week. So just something else that's happening, very shocking.
Truly big shakeups in the first month of this year.
Yeah. So in other news, more exciting news for probably the people who are listening to this, the Drive to Survive. What's that?
And to end on a good note.
Drive to Survive is back February 23rd. Oh my gosh, should we go live? We should definitely do something. Yeah. So season 6 of Drive to Survive will come out February 23rd. It usually always comes out right before the new season of F1. So first weekend of F1 is March 2nd. The first race is in Bahrain. So if you're new, if you're listening to this episode and you're not an F1 fan, thanks for getting through this. But if you are just very new to the sport and don't know how to get more into F1, this is exactly what you do.
Definitely
you go binge watch Netflix's Drive to Survive. You start with season 1 that's set in 2018, and you will watch all the way till season 6, which takes place in 2023. Then you'll go back, listen to some of the Pitwall Girl episodes, and you're good to go. You're now an expert. When I started watching F1, I thought DRS was somehow related to Daniel Ricciardo, like Daniel Ricciardo's speed. So look how far we've come.
It took a while. We've definitely come far away. I mean, when I first started watching it, I used to love racing. I don't know if I told you this. I think I've told you this. That my first job was at a go-karting place.
Stop. I didn't know that.
Yes. When I was 16 years old, I worked at, I don't know if I can say the name, but K1 Speed. And it was my first job ever. First job ever. I had the job for like 3 years, probably till I like got into college. And I actually helped them open up the Miami location. Like once they opened, like I trained like all the people there. It was so fun. So I would literally race all the time. Like we would race every weekend after work. And so like I used to love doing that all the time, but I kind of, life, whatever, got away from all that. But getting to know like the technical aspects of the sport is something that's for sure interesting and still really fun because then you understand how it really works.
Yeah. The more you watch, the more you learn. Hajed, why don't we get you into the F1 Academy?
Oh man, I'm down for it. I can be like a Gran Turismo story.
Yeah, if you can race in the F1 Academy. So this is also news. Every team in F1 will be sponsoring one of the F1 Academy drivers. So if you could be an F1 Academy driver, what
sign me up, Darlene?
I'll talk to Susie. I might have her on speed dial.
That's a great question. What team do you think I would be on?
Oh, Red Bull.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah. I do like karting. It's a lot of fun, but I do not want to be a racer.
It is so exhilarating. No. We should go do it.
I'm manifesting a hot lap this year. I hope that I can do a hot lap by, I don't care who the driver is, but I think it would be so fun. Like I want to do one of the hot laps and then get my video recorded just like screaming. I don't understand why people scream so much because like, don't you know that, you're going to go super fast, but I'm saying that now. And I feel like I might be one of those people that turns green.
Yes. Like it's actually really insane. So another tip here, maybe another story. I did something similar, but on the NASCAR track in Homestead.
Okay.
And that was insane. Like you really, in your mind, you're going to go fast, but once you're there, it's like a roller coaster. You're like, oh my God.
That's true. Well, that was silly of me. You do scream on a roller coaster. Okay, well, I hope I can experience it this year. Pirelli, Hot Lap, if you're listening, sponsor your girl. Okay, well, I don't know. I'm just super excited. I'm so happy we kicked off the podcast together.
It's going to be a great year.
Yeah, I can't wait to see the rest of the liveries. McLaren's going hard with their partnerships. They had they had an F1 car in their Abercrombie store in New York. Like, that's insane.
Love that.
If you're in New York, go
some Gen Z and market targeting right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you're in New York, you're lucky because the Williams is on display. The McLaren is on display, so your chance to go see an F1 car in person. Anything else that we need to add?
There's some good deets. I don't think so. I think hopefully all of these investigations can stop and not kind of bleed into the season. So hopefully that's done with by the end of this month and March 2nd. Goes off with a bang. And
hopefully
maybe,
Carlos finds
Lando.
A loving home for Carlos.
Maybe Lando wins.
Lando wins, a loving home for Carlos. You know, I'm a Carlando girly through and through.
Carlos.
We haven't seen any drivers lose their seat just yet. So you know what was crazy? I wrote F1 predictions. Let me see if I can quickly pull it up.
Oh, yeah.
So I wrote this a while back when Guenther lost his seat, and I wrote there will be a change with at least one TP, so one team principal. Never did I think it could potentially be Christian.
No, that one is literally from left field.
Yeah. I put that we will see a change with at least one of the driver lineups because we haven't seen one in a while, and there's always, somebody who's losing their seat. So I don't know, maybe we'll see that. And then there are 24 races set to happen in 2024. But look at this little detail. In 2023, there was 23 races set to happen, but a race got canceled. So there weren't 23 races. And then in 2022, there were supposed to be 22 races and one also got canceled. So there weren't. So I feel like there's supposed to be 24 and there's only going to be 23. Yeah, one keeps getting canceled.
Well, that'll be interesting to see which one.
Yeah, so, well, that's all from us. Thank you for tuning in, catching up with all the news. Please go follow our Instagram, rate, subscribe to the podcast on Spotify, Apple, wherever you listen to your podcast. And I feel like there's one more thing I need you guys to do. Oh, yeah, this will be on YouTube. So subscribe to our channel and join our Discord as well. Yeah, do all the things. Like, rate, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, share with your mom, your dad, whoever's interested in F1. And we'll see you for race recaps. Bye.
Live. Bye.